What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, MERLIN Law Group, and American Contractor. You guys can go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. So for today, we've got Texas-sized hail possible through most of Texas, and then also the southeast is in hail chances as well. All risks are possible for a lot of areas, so we're going to go over to the forecast for today and then into tomorrow, or sorry, not tomorrow yet. DFW, you guys are on the edge of a hail risk. We're going to talk a little bit about the setup for you guys. Things are looking like you could get wind, you could get hail, you could get a few different types of risks. So we're going to go specifically into DFW as well. And then into tomorrow, looking at hail risks from the Ohio Valley into the southeast, as well as some gusty winds possible. So taking a look at all that good stuff in a moment here. But before our weather, we want to talk to you guys about the NTRCA Not So Many trade show. This is going to be in Grapevine, Texas at the Grapevine Convention Center on June 8th. So if you guys want to get out there and say hello to the Hail Trace gang and come on out to Texas and see what's what, get on out to the Grapevine Convention Center for that Not So Many trade show on June 8th. So then for yesterday, there were a couple areas of severe weather that we saw. So one along the southeast coast here, all the way from the North Carolina down into Florida, and then another out in Texas. So first, starting out with our East Coast risk, we saw a couple of severe wind events and some scattered severe hail here and there, but again, it was pretty isolated on terms of severe activity through the east. But then once we got over into the Texas Panhandle, specifically near the Lubbock, Texas area, they got popped pretty good with some severe hail up to baseballs in size through the area, as well as some tornado reports to go around there. So pretty scattered activity for yesterday. However, for the West Texas Panhandle, got some pretty big time hail, and could we see a round 2 for that today? We're going to talk about that here. So current conditions are really nice along the Ohio Valley through the northern plains, but once you get down into the central plains, guys, it's been raining here in OKC for like 2 days straight. It's crazy. There's flooding, all sorts of stuff happening through the south central plains, and then jumping down into the southeast. Going to be scattered storms all the way from Mississippi into Georgia, and a couple of those could really ramp up and get going into severe limits later on this afternoon. But then down into Texas, we're seeing a little bit more clearing, some cloud cover still on the north end, but along the tail end of the system, we're starting to see some sunshine down near the San Angelo area, near Lubbock. With that, we could get that nice daytime heating that we need. We've got all sorts of humidity to go around through the southern plains right now, and with that, that could be that telltale combo that gets us some severe hail into later today. So right now, again, it's nice across most of the southeast, across the Ohio Valley, 67 in Fort Wayne, 80 in Atlanta, 86 in Miami. So beautiful conditions there. A little bit cooler once we get out behind this cold front. So 56 degrees in Kansas City, 46 in Denver. You guys had some snow this weekend. And then down into Dallas, 65 degrees. So we really need it to warm up a little bit more on the north end of Texas for us to get that big time hail that we're expecting right now more in southern and western Texas. So, and we'll take a look at the risk here in a second. But here's our dew points. Pretty humid across most of the south right now, 67 degree dew points in Birmingham, 72 in Tallahassee, and working our way into the low to mid 60s through most of Texas right now. It's enough to get us those severe storms as they continue to develop through that area along that cold front, and once we get that dry line area, we'll start to see some storms developing along that as well. So again, this humidity, it's enough to help us develop those storms. That all plays into our energy that's available through the atmosphere for later this afternoon. So we're going to see that continue to ramp up into those moderate to high values pretty much all the way across the south here. I mean, wherever you see those reds, that's where there's enough instability to get those powerful updrafts that we need to form hail-producing storms. Okay, so through Georgia here, all the way down into Louisiana, and then out into West Texas, we're seeing those high values by around 4 p.m. And that's when storms are really going to be expected to start ramping up as they feed off of those high values. Then, once they continue off into the south and moving off to the east, we're going to see those taper off into the evening and overnight hours as those storms, feed off of that cape. But again, enough to get us some nasty hail sizes into the coming hours here. So here's what we have for our significant hail model. By this, you guys can tell what the hail sizes are likely to see across the risk area here. Not a ton to talk about through the southeast. I mean, the chances are non-zero for severe hail, but our parameters aren't coming together well enough to show anything major for hail sizes. But then once you get down into South Texas and West Texas, that's when you have those high instability values. That's when you have that super cold upper air that allows that hail to grow. And so, that all factors into seeing those warm colors through San Angelo area, through the Midland and Lubbock area by around 4 p.m. when we could get those storms forming. So some big time hail possible there. And then spreading eastward towards Dallas. So you guys are still in question for the DFW area as those storms track towards you. And then again, feeding off of that instability. And so we're going to see those values taper down as those storms continue off to the south and east overnight. So here's what that all comes together as for our future radar. So again, right now just a ton of rain and messy weather happening in Oklahoma City, thunder, but not a ton of severe activity yet. As these storms continue for the next couple hours, here we are by 2 p.m., seeing some isolated hailers starting to form in New Mexico, in the Lubbock area, and just down south of that main system that's moving through Oklahoma right now. So again, that amount of daytime heating that we can get in the next couple hours is really going to be key to the development of these storms. So there it is by 2. And then there we go by 4. Things already blowing up explosively just to the east of San Angelo with this line of supercells. Any of those could be producing wind, hail, possible tornadoes with any of those that get rotating. The Lubbock area also looks like we've got a few cells that are going to track over by around 4 p.m. Central. And then, some isolated hailers here and there. If any of those can reach the DFW area, large hail in play for you guys. But then we're seeing this main system start tracking towards you more towards 7. Now we got a band of windstorms tracking over Lubbock and over the Abilene area. And then the second band that's tracking into the DFW area by around 7 p.m. Now, any parts of that stay isolated, again, could form some severe hail for you guys. But now we've also got a wind threat in play as well as a tornado threat as this storm system continues off to the south and east. There it goes by 9. Now DFW getting a ton of rain, thunder, lightning, probably some gusty winds packing a punch with that as well as we get that first line that passes through, and then we get the back end that starts to come in behind it as well with the system as it races off to the east. Then it's going to continue for tonight and tomorrow morning, and then we'll see our chances pick up for tomorrow through the Ohio Valley as well as the southeast. Now for the southeast, here's what we have for today by 1 p.m., so only about an hour from now, we start to see any of these isolated storms developing through Mississippi as well as Alabama. As those continue to develop over the next few hours, we'll start to see the coverage increase quite a lot. Now, there's not as many instability factors through here, so, not a ton of large hail expected, but just based on the coverage of these storms and the fact that there's some instability present in the area, we could see, isolated hailers forming out of really any of these through Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia for this afternoon and evening. Now, as that line starts to form by around 7:30, we'll see some more intense storms happening near the New Orleans and Jackson corridor there, and then up towards the far western side of Mississippi, just west of the 55 corridor by 7:30, as well as some more isolated storms tracking through the Macon, Georgia area. Now, as those continue, we're going to see coverage start to decrease, and then that band forms and starts to move towards Birmingham for tomorrow morning. So putting that all together for our C3 forecast here for the next hour here, for the next coming hours with that hail chances, we're seeing hail possible all the way from Georgia into West Texas, quarters to $half possible anywhere through there. And then where we get the main overlap of our instability parameters, as well as that super cold upper air, the trough moving through the dry line, that's where we start to see that bigger hail in play through the western part of Texas there. So if you guys are in pretty much anywhere just south of Amarillo, you guys are going to be on the very northern border of that. Same with Lawton, Oklahoma area, very northern border of those hail chances where that cold air starts to kind of take over. Low-end chances for you guys. But then once we get down into Lubbock, into Abilene, into Midland, Odessa, that's where our chances for hail are going to pick up with those isolated hailers and with those high instability factors. So high-end chance for Abilene or Lubbock to see severe hail tonight, and anywhere in this red swath could see hail in the 2 to 2.5 inch range. Again, with those isolated storms. Now, as that system tracks off to the east towards Dallas-Fort Worth, we're seeing it band up. So moderate chance for you guys still to see severe hail DFW, but we're starting to see those hail sizes kind of taper off with that band as it starts to track towards you. So DFW, moderate chance anywhere from San Antonio into Shreveport to Jackson, and anywhere through the southeast is going to be in a low end chance with those scattered storms, and again, lower instability through that area. So low end chance for that severe hail, however, still non-zero that we could see some quarters to half dollars scattered through the southeast tonight. Then for wind into the next coming hours, it's going to be a very similar forecast in DFW. You guys are in that risk for hail and wind possible. In terms of hail and in terms of storms overall, it's looking like those storms are going to start to impact you today around 6 p.m. So probably right when you're getting home from work. So you want to stay tuned to your travel conditions towards the end of this afternoon and evening. And then those are really going to roll until about 3 a.m. So you're going to have a long system tracking over you guys, lots of rain, potential flash flooding associated with those as well. Then your max hail size, looking like we're probably not going to exceed golf balls. Chances of greater than 1.75 inch hail is pretty low with that band of storms starting to develop. But again, you're in that transitional period in between those isolated storms and a full-on band. So, you know, while we're in that, you still have a moderate chance to see severe hail. So again, just a day to be on the lookout since you guys are in all risks right now for this afternoon and evening. So definitely not one to be discounted for DFW. Then for the rest of the south, in terms of wind chances, it's going to be pretty much similar types of risk, low end for the southeast with those scattered storms. And then we're shifting our high end just a little bit to the east as those bands start to develop. So Abilene now, DFW, Austin, higher end chance for you guys to see some severe winds into tonight with that band that tracks over you guys. Lubbock, Midland, and Shreveport, you guys are on the outer borders of that, so moderate chance for you guys to still see some severe wind activity. Then off into the southeast, looking at low end chances for most of you guys with those scattered storms through the area. Then for tomorrow, we're going to see the system continue to shift off to the east through the Ohio Valley and through the southeast. And then here we are by 1 p.m. seeing, again, some messy storms developing through Mississippi, through the southern part of Alabama, all the way up into Missouri. As those continue to track eastward, we'll start to see storm coverage again increase across a lot of the Ohio Valley here as well as a lot of the southeast. So, you know, if you guys are in the border between Indiana and Ohio, starting to see some isolated storms developing there near Jackson, Kentucky, get some. Any of those could be hailers into tomorrow. And then this band is looking like it's got a pretty good shot at producing all risks as well as it continues to roll through the southeast. And then we get another one coming in behind it at 11:30 p.m. So again, these are going to be long storm durations for a lot of us as the system slowly tracks through. Oklahoma's been dealing, again, with rain on rain on rain for the past 48 hours here. And a lot of us are going to be seeing similar conditions, multiple rounds of severe weather as the system slowly creeps off to the east. And then there we go into, so tomorrow's Wednesday into Thursday, we're seeing this band continue through Mississippi and Alabama for Thursday morning. So for our hail forecast into tomorrow, sponsored by American Contractor, we've got our hail chances all the way from the southeast up into the Ohio Valley. Mostly going to be quarter to half dollar for most of you guys, but again, where we really start to see the most instability is going to be through Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So any of you guys could see a rogue storm or two producing up to golf ball sized hail. So in Indianapolis, Lexington, Kentucky, Birmingham, Atlanta, low end chances for you guys with the scattered nature of those storms, but still could see some quarters to half dollars with any of those that do hit you. New Orleans, low end chance for you guys as well. Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, better chance for you guys to see some severe hail with that zone of high instability as that tracks over you guys. So moderate chance for you guys, and anywhere in there could again see up to golf ball sized hail for tomorrow. Then for wind, it's going to be pretty similar once again. Anywhere from Indianapolis to Chicago to down into Kentucky and through the far eastern part of the Mississippi Valley could see some gusty winds into tomorrow. Jackson and Memphis, best chance for you guys as storms really get rolling. Again, got a good unstable environment through that area, so it's pretty easy to put you guys in a moderate for storms into tomorrow for hail and wind as well. And then low end chance where the areas are a little bit more scattered for our risks. Then finally looking off into our future jet stream here. So here's what we have for you guys for the next coming days. This system's really creeping off to the east. I mean, this trough has been just lingering for the past couple of days. Doesn't move much by tomorrow at noon. I mean, it's just starting to make its way into the Mississippi Valley with that cold front and with those storm chances, and then slowly making its way into the southeast by Thursday afternoon. Some more storm chances for the east coast there. And then, you know, again, it's really taking its time. It's going to take pretty much all week for this thing to get off the coast and make room for this next storm system that's developing behind it. And that could, you know, spark some more storms. But in the meantime, here we are on Saturday afternoon, and we do have a little shortwave trough, just a little dip in our main trough here. And with that, we could see some more storm development through the central part of the U.S. But then, you know, Saturday, May 28th, Memorial Day weekend, could see this large trough swinging in right behind it and wreaking some havoc for your Memorial Day plans. So stay tuned with that shortwave trough, with this large scale system pushing through. Could see a little bit more of storm activity for your Memorial Day weekend, and it is statistically the most active weekend of the year. So we're watching this very closely as it continues to develop. But if you guys want to stay tuned to our risks and our forecasts and all that good stuff, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. And then also follow us on TikTok to see all the fun things we do here at our office. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details. And for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.